Okay, guys. So I have my drink. I'm drinking white rum ginger ale with a sour patch liqueur in it. I am super lit. This is really strong. Um, I'm gonna do a story time of the first time I had a sugar daddy. And I'm gonna explain. I don't know how I do it, but like I don't know. I was 22 or 23. I was going to BCC on the Pines campus. I had just moved back from New York, and I was staying with my aunt, and I was staying with my aunt, staying with my cousin, and I was staying like between there, and then I had a dude I was dealing with. So I was just like jumping around. But one day I was at school or whatever. Like I didn't have a car or nothing. I was like taking the city bus, but it wasn't far from where I was in Pines, cause like it wasn't really far. And I'm this type of person, like if I have to get somewhere, I'm gonna get to where I'm going. Like in Florida, it's not cool to be seen on a city bus. It's not the thing to do to take public transportation because everything is so spaced out. Everyone really has a car. But like fuck it, like my dad had just died, and my dad used to always like encourage me to make money doing my hair, being my own boss, like just really becoming my own person because I didn't go to college. I went to hair school. I wanted to pursue doing hair, and I was really into fashion, and yeah, like that was me. When he died, I got really depressed. So around that time, I was like kind of out of my depression and just trying to like figure shit out. So at that time, I wanted to become a pharmacist. I know, I don't know. So I wanted to become a pharmacist, and then I saw how long I'd be in school, and then I took like this personality test, and it basically helps you pick your major. And my major was like my top picks were like um, fine art, multimedia, and to become a lawyer or acting. And I decided to just do multimedia. I could have got an associate's in 2 years, and that was my plan. So I was in school one day in the library, and I had on sandals, and I would wait at the library for my aunt to get me. So I would have morning classes, like legit morning classes, and wait till like I would do my homework there for like an hour and 30 minutes on my laptop, and then my aunt would get me. And she lived right behind, um, she lived in Heron Bay, whatever. I don't know if anyone's in Florida. So I would do that, and this Haitian dude, he just kept watching me and watching me, and he was like a real European dressed down Haitian dude. So one day I went up to him, and I was like, "You keep watching me," and he was just like, "You have very beautiful feet." I was like, "What?" He was like, "You have really beautiful feet." And I was just like 23, like I probably only seen like 3 dicks in my life. I was like, what? Like I've never heard that. Like I haven't even got like back shots yet. Like I was just very like 23. Like I was with my first for a long time, and I stalked him for a long time after. And I don't know, like I was just really not good at sex and into sex. I was more so into love and like, you know, I don't know, whatever. So this man is like, your feet are really pretty. Can I send a photo of your feet to my uncle? And I was like, I wasn't working at the time. I was like, how much you gonna pay me for these feet pictures? This is the time when, because I'm old, I'm not like you young joints. This is the time when BB was a thing. Like BB was popping in Aventura Mall, and like Michael Kors was popping. Like black girls wasn't wearing Michael Kors. Spanish girls ain't know what Michael Kors was. Only rich white women was fucking with Michael Kors. This was a time to have owned a Michael Kors watch. So he said to me, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want $450." And he was like looking at me, and I pulled out my laptop. I had a little laptop, a Toshiba. I was like, "I'm trying to buy this car, and I'm short $450." He was like, "I can get you a Lexus." I said, "Oh yeah?" He's like, "Yeah. Let me send my uncle your feet pic and hook you up with my uncle. He lives in Chicago. He has money. He owns nightclubs." And I'm 23, and I was trying to do makeup at that time. Yeah, I was trying to do makeup, and my sister, I have an older sister, Anique, she's 3 years older than me. She worked at Club Play. So, like, at that time, like, she would come get me on the way to go down to South Beach, and we would go to Dream, and we would go to Play, and I would, like, style my sister, do her makeup, do her hair. That was always my thing. Like, when people would see my sister and I wouldn't be there, if she looked good, I did her makeup and her hair. Like, that was my thing. And I was like, you know what? What I got to lose? My dad just died. I'm tired of struggling. I never took no bus when my dad was alive. I always had a car. I'm with it. I never have homegirls, like real close homegirls, because bitches get jealous of me. Cause I'm really lucky. Like I luck up on some shit. Like it's weird. So I keep mad journals. And I'm really close. At that time I was really close with like 3 of my cousins. So I was talking to one of my cousins and I was like, yo, she lives in London. I was like, yo, this dude said if I go to fucking London, if I go to Chicago, like he'll give me a Lexus. And she's like, bitch, you better go. Like, so at this time I had no hair. I had just like been growing my hair out from a Caesar haircut. I had like a T-Boz haircut. I'm gonna show you guys a picture of my hair. So he sent his picture to his uncle, and he flew me out. I'm not like a real YouTuber, so I'm gonna just show you the picture. This is what I look like at the time. I don't know. There's so much glare. Whatever. So this is what I look like. And he bought me this dress, okay? This was a $200 dress. Okay, so I got my Pell Grant back, and I was like, yo, I can't go out there looking crazy, because if he sees me looking crazy, if a nigga sees you looking crazy, he'll treat you, a nigga's gonna treat you how you look and how you treat yourself. So I took $1,100 from my Pell Grant, and I got back a scholarship for being left-handed. And I spent like just $1,100 out of it, and I had the rest for my hoopty just in case. And I bought that dress to wear to go, okay? And I bought a really cute outfit. I bought like, I forgot. I gotta look on my Facebook. So I went, and I was just going for a fucking day. I get there, I fly not first class, but I was sitting in the front of the plane. So I was like, that's straight. And I had on some Nine West shoes and a Nine West bag. I'll never forget that. I bought a Nine West pair of shoes and a Nine West handbag. I love Nine West. I don't know what happened to Nine West, but I was really like, I grew up like wearing Nine West. I don't know why. Okay, so when I reached the airport, a driver picked me up and drove me to his house. The driver's real cool because I told him I've never been to Chicago. He's like, oh yeah, my boss is real nice. Never seen this man. I only spoke to him on the phone once, and he sounded French. Oh, my boss is real nice. Da, da, da. He's like, that's Oprah's condo up there. His condo is 8 floors below it. I was like, oh shit, like, okay. And then he's like driving like in the city. He turns down this road and like you see these big ass houses and like in the city, and he pulls up to this big red brick house and he opens the door. I didn't even have like a luggage to bring out. I had the clothes in my fucking 9 West bag. The bag was like, I always have a big ass bag. At that time too, big bags were in, so this bag was like, I mean, it was big, like a never full GM. It was big. So I just had an outfit in it because I was ready to fly the fuck out. I go in there and it's little tiny. He was like my height and just like black, but like his skin was smooth, but he was old and his eyes had those like blue rings around it, like cataracts. And then he was so fucking nice. And I'm very fucking friendly, so, and then when I have liquor in me, I'm just like fucking, I'm talking it up just like I'm doing now. I'm drinking like wine, and I never really had no real good wine, so he's putting me on to like wine and shit. And the only wine I heard about was Moscato, because Drake made a song about Moscato, and he was like, no, you don't want stutter on Moscato. I have a Riesling, you should try this. And that's when I found out about rosé. I found about Moet Imperial that day. We went to, we just did a whole bunch of like wine tasting and stuff in his house. He had a wine cellar and there was cheese and he was really cute. Then he took me to dinner. I went to my first, it was a 3-star restaurant and I had a real full course meal. And then he took me to like a little lounge or whatever. And then after, I don't know how this old man was up, he took me to his nightclub. And I seen a lot of Chicago rappers and shit. And like, niggas was like looking at me like, damn. Because I had on the white BB dress. That's what I had on when I went. And I had a weave in though. Like, I ain't stupid. My weave was like to my waist. And they were like, damn, she's bad, da-da-da. He's like, that's my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend. And I was like, yeah. So that night I was so fucked up. Like, I got back to his house and he was like, you can sleep in my room. And I was like, he's like, I'm gonna sleep in the room next to yours. I was like, okay. He was like, but before you go to sleep, he was like, I gotta talk to you. He was like, I really like you, and I can tell you really like me. I want you to know I'm impotent. Bitch. I was like, thinking to myself, what is impotent? Like, I'm fucking drunk. I'm not one of those book smart girls. I'm really knowledgeable. I'm just real Asian. I'm good at math and history. I'm not good at like English and I don't have a very big vocabulary, especially at 23. So I was like impotent, and it took me a while. So I'm sitting there like, that's cool. I wasn't really trying to fuck. He had to have been like in his 80s. And he was real like shriveled up too, but he was dope. And he's like, yeah, I can't get it up. He goes, I can't. And I was like, oh, that's fine. He was like, but I like your feet. I was like, what? He's like, I like your feet. I was like, man, I got a flight early in the morning. And he handed me his credit card and he was like, book a flight for the evening time. And I was just like, are you going to take me shopping? He's like, yeah, I'll take you shopping. I was like, okay. So this man was massaging my feet. He was putting my feet on his face. Like, it was mad. Like, he was like really getting off to this. And I was like so drunk. I was like, what the fuck? And then like, when he was done, I don't know, he just like grabbed himself and then he just like went in his room, and I was just up, and he texted me like, "Do you need anything? You know, it's still early. Do you want to go back to that nightclub? My my friends were asking for you because they were all fine." I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna just, stay here and sleep." I did not sleep at all that night, but I was texting my cousin, and they're like, "Yo, that's fucking crazy. Ask him about the Lexus." So the next day, he H&M wasn't in Florida back then, and when I lived in New York, I'd always go to H&M. So he was like, "Where do you want to go?" And I didn't really know too much about anything. I was like, "I want to go to H&M, and maybe like." I was like, maybe Macy's or something. And he started laughing. He's like, "You gotta be serious." I was like, "I don't know." He was like, "I know a mall I can take you to. Like, I'm gonna just give you some money so you can go. I don't think I can handle, like, walking around." And I was like, "That's cool." So some white lady came and she made us breakfast. And he gave me like 5 bands. And back then, like, that was a lot of money back then. And I literally spent $500 and deposited the rest of my bank account. And then I met him at one of his malls. He had a flea market in the hood. His driver took me there. And I got some ratchet ass stripper shoes because he likes feet. And he took me to like a French restaurant. But they were Haitian. It's like a Creole restaurant. And then he was like, "I want to show you the Lexus because I know you need a car. I can't have you walking around on those feet." I was like, "Yeah, So this nigga took me to like, I guess it's his ex-girlfriend's spot, and it was a like a LS3 or 400 or something. It wasn't brand new, but it wasn't old either at the time. But that was way better than my fucking hoopty. So he gave me the car key or whatever, like the key, and I was like, "Don't you need it?" He's like, "No, I'm gonna have I have the other key." He's like, "There's 3 keys cut." My ex was like, she was forgetful, and I was like, "Okay." Then he was like, "I'm gonna have them ship it down to you," and I was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "So when you go back to school, you're gonna have a car to drive," and I was like, "That's cool." And he's like, "Give me your information." So I gave him like a picture of my ID, and then he dropped me to the airport. And when I went back home, I had that bread. I had that bread in my account, and I was like, "Oop, I'm gonna move the fuck out of my aunt's house." She's crazy as fuck. Like, my aunt, she's bad as fuck. On my dad's side, she's paid. Like, she has like a helper that comes and like she'll clean your room. And my cousin, like, she was gonna be a doctor, and she never went out. It was just really boring. So like, I was like, "Fuck that, I'm gonna move out." So when the Lexus came on Sunday evening, my aunt was tripping. So I was like, "Nah, that's from my uncle, on my mom's side." And she was like, "Oh, that's so nice, because we were gonna get you a Corolla." No, the fuck she wasn't. But anyways, I was like, "Oh, that's nice, but it's okay. I have a car now." Bitch, I sold that shit so fast and bought my hoopty. So I sold that Lexus for like 6 bands. I sold it to my dad's homeboy for 6 bands, and he was like, "Oh, I can give you 8, but I'm gonna wait till the end of the month." And I was like, "Look, take this shit now. I want to move back to Broward. I hate Pines." And he was just like, "Okay, but you should check out Hollandale, because Hollandale is close to Aventura. I love Aventura. And it's close to Broward, too. I like the beach." So he gave me this guy's number, and I got a studio, and I got a studio for cheap because he knew my dad. So my studio was probably the size of this fucking room. It was small, and it was just like $5.50 a month. It was cheap as fuck. And I got a job at P.F. Chang's as a host. This is when I first entered the restaurant world. So I didn't tell him I got a job, and I didn't tell him I sold a Lexus. He never had time for me, and he would send me $1,200 a month for allowance. So 2 months passed by and I saved the money. I saved like 2,500, and then my mom got sick and I dropped out of school. And I left PF Chang's. I couldn't, I got depressed as fuck. And I was like, yo, I can't live here. So I moved out. I went to go stay with this dude that I liked. And he was crazy. So I went back to my mom. I went back to Broward. And the hoopty that I had, that shit, like, the engine blew. And I was like, fuck, like, I don't know what to do. And then my sugar daddy, he hit me up and was like, move to Chicago. I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna move to Chicago. Hell no. So I dropped my mom to work, and I like to make money and I like to work. I like my independence. Like, once you live alone, you want to live alone again. Like, it's just like that. I was looking, I hit up everyone I knew in Broward and asked them for a job. My homeboy Norman got me a job at the car dealership. I started the very next Monday. That Friday, I got paid, and I had my uncle send me like $800, and I moved into a barn. This shit was lit. It was like a tiny house, and then I had a few bands to sit on, but it wasn't like money I could have spent on, like, moving out. But I had to leave my mom's because her boyfriend's fucking crazy. And my sugar daddy put me back into school online, and then I got my associates for multimedia, and I don't have any debt from that degree. I don't. And I'm lying. Wait, I'm short like 8 credits for my associates. So technically, to me, because I'm not a school bitch. To me, I have my degree. Because those classes are like petty classes, like in English and the fucking math. But I finished all my multimedia classes, and I'm happy I did have a sugar daddy, because that really did help me to like make money now as an artist. You feel me? And it also has like, that really showed me how like a man is to treat you. And that's why I'm not really shallow when it comes to looks or anything, because sometimes people might not look that great, but they have the best intentions for you. And he passed away when I turned 28. He passed away. But up until I'm gonna say up until 26, I would go to Chicago twice a year and not tell nobody, and see my sugar daddy, and that was the best thing I ever did. I've never had to fuck that man. I was sad when he passed. I did get something when he passed, but his ex-wife was like, she didn't get shit, so I was just like, I'm not gonna go up there. You can keep it. And I really strongly felt like me just doing that, I felt like, I don't know what it is, but I just have such good luck in this wave of like good karma over me, or like a protection, because I could have been selfish and had taken that, but I really felt like that wasn't my place, and he really did enough for me. So you better get your sugar daddy now while you young and you can, girl. You better get your education for free, okay? I should have kept that Alexis, but I honestly did the smartest thing. And that too has really shaped me as a woman, because sometimes I come across men who do throw a lot of money my way to like do things, and I'll do the more responsible thing. Like, I really fell in love last winter with a dude, and he gave me the bread to do my body, and like he gave me the deposit, but I knew it was smarter to like put it towards my credit or whatever, because I'm trying to like really build up my credit back, because I have a lot of stuff on my credit because of my mom. And like, I think he got mad, but I know I did the right thing, because me doing that Like now I can like, you know, I have a little credit card now. Like I have bank accounts now. Like, you know. That's my story time, y'all. I might do another one because the bitch